Hi, I'm Angela Birchall from You Can Draw and Paint. Welcome to this rapid run through of the demonstration of the main painting Road Through the Snow from my taster package. We start off as always with the preparatory sketches, which allow you to lock in the main details and lines for the actual painting before we jump into actually applying colour. We start as usual with the sky. There isn't a lot of sky in this one, but we can still roll in a few fluffy clouds before we pass on to doing some distant mountains and then start working on the background trees. This rapid run through is actually condensing nearly 2 hours of video teaching into less than 6 minutes, so I obviously can't give you all the details that I will do in the actual lesson about mixing colours and techniques for applying it to create distance or bring items to the fore, etc. But it will give you a flavour of the way that we can work just step by step, and you can pause the video when it's at its normal speed and just paint sections of it. I will give you full details about how to mix the different colours and the way to apply them so that they create the difference between what looks like snow, what looks like a solid stone wall, what looks like trees in the distance or close-up trees. You'll see from this how important shadows are to actually sitting an object firmly onto solid ground, but also in the way that we can use shadows to show the angle of the ground, the way it slopes away down the side bit here where it's stacked up on the edge of the road, and then when we paint the centre of the road, how we've got that central track that is piled up in the middle, the tree that comes across. Everything is actually showing you the amount of slope or lack of slope. Then as we come down with this fence line, we've got the way the fence posts get smaller and smaller as you get into the distance to create that idea of distance, and they also get not only taller but wider spaced as they come towards you. So they're all techniques for actually creating distance in a painting. Obviously we've got little bits of foliage sticking up through the snow, which again tells the viewer that we've got thick crunchy snow. We've just got some little bits peeping up there, adds a bit of warmth of colour and carries on suggesting the shapes, the angles of the ground. When we add some sunny yellow into it, we can see how that contrasts nicely with the purpley grey shadows and gives it a bit more zing to the picture. Add into some more foliage and you're starting to pull the yellows out of the browny colours, so they're all starting to complement one another. When you add this foliage down the central track of the road, it also makes more sense for why we bothered to put shadows down that central track. And everything is starting to just give a bit more structure and substance to the design of your painting. The most important trees in this picture are obviously these two foreground trees, and they need to be not only stronger colours but more detail to actually bring them forward. The more they're brought forward, the further into the distance those soft blobby trees in the distance actually go back into the distance, which is exactly where we want to put them. So we use a dark greeny grey to make these trees stand out from the background, and remembering from the direction of the shadows as to which side you put the lighter and the darker side of the tree trunks, and then we start the fun bit of piling on the snow. Now, I love snow and I love painting snow, and I think if you're going to paint snow, put it on as thick as you possibly can do. So I always like to pile on big clumps of snow, and before this painting's finished there will be a few more snowfalls added to the design. Meanwhile, it's back to just flicking in some more shadow lines and just thinking what the structure of this tree is and getting some nice branches out to put snow on. And now we've got this foreground tree in, I can just finish off the fence line and little bits of foliage that stick out around the bottom of this fence line. Then we had a few more details, touches down that central road, just a few more flicks where some foliage is going to be popping up through the snow. And then we can get white paint back and we get ready for the next snowfall. Here's where you can start to pile up the snow in all the Y shapes and V shapes that you've created with your tree branches, and then put on tops of every one of those fence posts and across the cross rails great big chunks of snow, and we'll finish with even more snow. Pile it on wherever you can think of. I hope you've enjoyed this rapid run through of the main painting Road Through the Snow from the free taster package Introduction to Painting Landscapes in Acrylics. For more information on any of the programs that I've got, just drop into our Facebook chat room. See you soon. Keep it creative.